Good afternoon, my dear parents, students, and staff members. You know, education means nowadays not all explaining the concept which is given in the textbook. According to the CCE, according to NEP, the student should develop in all activities. Means they have to get all-round development. For that purpose, our staff members are striving, they are working a lot, and especially our parents are giving a wonderful, a beautiful cooperation to the management. In that aspect only, our students have prepared a well-known and very nice discussion on this union budget. It is not criticization, but you should know for which sectors more importance was given, for which sectors less importance was given. Being a student, we have to analyze all those things. I am an economics, that's why I know what are the defects, what are the pros and cons. That's why I felt very happy with this program, and I am very much thankful to all the parents. Really, with your cooperation, we could not get all this. And last but not least, staff members. I should say, and I should bow my head for all the staff members for giving this wonderful and tremendous cooperation even in this corona period also to the management. And my blessings, my wonderful blessings to all the students. Have a bright future. Thank you.
Good afternoon to everybody. This is Akshaya of 10th standard.
This is Faria Falakur Rahman of 9th standard.
Today we are here to discuss about the Union Budget of India 2022 to 2023. At first, let's invite today's judges for this Union Budget. We are having 3 judges over here who belongs to Social Department. So let me first invite the first judge, Shivashankar sir, who teaches for 10th standard.
And followed by our second judge Ahmad sir, who teaches to 9th standard. And last but not least, Lakshmi teacher, who teaches to 8th standard. I have heard that budgeting is the first step towards financial freedom, is it?
Yes, exactly, you are correct.
But what actually is budget?
A budget is a quantitative plan for acquiring and using resources for a specified period.
I am very curious to know more about this budget.
Is it?
Yes.
So let me invite my friend Divya Chaitanya to give more description about this topic.
Warm welcome to one and all. Our school has rebounded again, hitting with an engrossing talking point, budget. In passing, I'm Divya Chaitanya from Sri Vijay Sai High School, Bodha. All of us know that every year budget is released. Some of the intellectuals talk over the budget beneficiaries. Few try to find out the discards in it. There enrolls little discussions. But what actually a budget is? Is it that interesting? Of course, yes. It's not only interesting, but a very fascinating too. A budget is a financial plan for a defined period, often for 1 year. It may also include planned sales volumes and revenues, resource quantities, costs and expenses, assets, liabilities, and cash flows. Further, the union budget is classified into revenue budget and capital budget. Revenue budget includes the government's revenue receipts and expenditure. There are 2 kinds of revenue receipts, tax and a non-tax revenue. Capital budget includes capital receipts and payments of the government, loans for the public, foreign governments and RBI form major part of the governments of capital receipt. Budgeting benefits everyone, not just those who are struggling for financially. It encourages you to live within your means and put your money to work in the best way as possible. Think over a budget, like as a stepping stone for your fundamental and financial goals. It can help you in a very huge ways, like understanding the relation with money, save enough for the future, staying out of debt, and last but not least, very advantageous is relieving from stress. Friends, do you know the chief aim of budgeting? Like what actually is the purpose of the budget? Let me clear you. Budgeting isn't about depriving yourself. It's about taking control of your money. Making a budget shouldn't feel like a punishment. Remember, it's a plan for all of your money you have earned. A budget doesn't have to be rigid. In fact, it should change as your circumstances change, alike when you get a raise, for example, or become a homeowner. The idea is to make your budget as personalized as possible, leaving room to adapt.
Thank you for giving me this wonderful information.
So let's start the debate on union budget. Are you guys excited to be here and take part in this program?
Yes. Well, we should be. Let's rise the energy between the groups.
Let's give a big round of applause for the fellow participants.
Now let's introduce the groups on debate on Union Budget 2022 to 23. Each group has 8 participants and with their respective leaders.
Let's invite Divya Chaitanya's group with the participants Ambika, Vaishnavi, Manoja, MD Ayan Khan, Nakshatra, Manideep and Kushal Reddy dealing with the topic about Vision of Budget 2022 to 2023.
Yes, the ability to think about or plan the future with imagination or wisdom, that is what our government is doing now. The Honorable Prime Minister said that the budget has brought new hopes and opportunities for the common people. He addressed the nation to hail the Union people. He addressed the nation to the hail of Union Budget 2022 that was presented by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman earlier in the days. They say India should become a $5 trillion economy by the financial year 2026. In an exclusive conversation, the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said that this quarter of century leading India towards 100 years since 1947 are very critical and certain steps will have to be taken if we are to be a very strong economy and 75 years in people get their basic facilities. And she also awards the credit to the Honorable Prime Minister that since 2014 he is aiming towards a good delivery. She also says that in these 72 years of independence, we have to achieve a quite uplift of the lives of the people, like bringing in financial inclusion, ensuring everybody has a house, water supply, toilets in every house, and giving women a bit more health conscious. They have surpassed a vision for next 25 years as India reaches 100 years of independence for the infrastructure development in the country. The Finance Minister makes a 25 years plan to have a 21st century infrastructure so that, let's say, small farmers from their village are able to get their products to the market, to have a better good road connectivity, electricity and fiber optical in villages for better internet connection. So there will be no difference between urban and rural areas. And finally, there will be a vision for how India will be when it is 100 years old.
How budget is made?
The budget issues a circular to all the union ministers, states and autonomous bodies, departments and the defense offices in the prepared to their estimates for the next financial year. As estimates come in, extensive consultations are held between the union ministers and the Department of Expenditure of the Finance Ministry.
What are the objectives a government budget serves?
To accomplish this purpose, a budget aims at attaining the following objectives. Firstly, to prognosticate the firm's future sales, production costs and other expenses in order to earn desired amount of income and minimize the possibility of business losses. And also to decide the composition of capitalization in order to ensure to availability of funds at reasonable cost. In preference, to coordinate the efforts of different departments of the firm toward the common objectives. The most important objectives of a government budget are reallocating the resources across the nation, bringing down the inequalities in the terms of earning and wealth, paving way for economic stability, managing public enterprises, contributing to economic growth, and addressing the regional proportions. The budget of a given government can be viewed as the visible projection of its political, social and economical policies. One of the main issues addressed by a government budget is preventing the fluctuations in business like inflation and deflation and thereby paving the road for a good economic stability.
What are the phases of the budget?
The actual budgeting for the national government involves the main four distinct processes. They are mentioned as budget preparation, budget authorization, budget execution and last but not least budget evolution. Respectively, the budget cycle is the life of the budget from creation of preparation to evolution. Firstly, budget preparation. It is a process which organizations and individuals have defined responsibilities that must be carried out within a given schedule. Next, budget authorization. An act that permits a federal program or activity to begin or continue from year to year. Then, budget execution. It is a process of monitoring, adjusting and reporting on the current year budget. Finally, budget evolution. Budgeting for an evolution consists of estimating the cost of an evolution process.
Okay, so how budget is presented?
The Union Finance Minister reads out a budget speech. On that day, in the Lok Sabha, the budget speech highlights the salient points of the entire budget that may run into several thousand pages. A copy of the budget is laid in the Rajya Sabha soon after its presentation in the Lok Sabha.
What are the different methods of the budget?
There are many different budget methods, but the top 5 recommended budgeting strategies are zero-based budget, 50-30-20 budget, envelope budget, priority-based budget, and pay yourself first budget. But the mostly preferred is zero-based budget. It is a method of budgeting in which all expenses must be justified for each new period.
Okay, so what are the types of budget?
Mainly there are three types of budgets are there. First is balanced budget, second is surplus budget and the third is deficit budget. Firstly, balanced budget. A balanced budget is a situation in the financial planning or the budgeting process in which where the total expected revenues are equal to the total planned spending. This term is mostly applied to the public sector, that is government budgeting. To achieve the balanced budget, we should compare your current income to your expenses and ensuring that the amount you spend does not exceed the amount you make. This may help to meet your financial obligations without any confusion or unintentionally taking an overdraft from your bank account. Second is surplus budget. A surplus budget occurs when revenue exceeds spending for a set period. For government, this means the government brought in more money than it spent. And the third is budget deficit. A budget deficit occurs when expenses exceed and indicate the financial health of the country. The government generally uses the term budget deficit when referring to spending rather than business or individual. A current deficit forms national debt. The two main causes of a budget deficit are excessive government spending and lower level of taxation that don't cover expenditure.
How does the budget become a law? And according with the requirements of the Constitution, the President submitted his proposed annual budget in the form of a budget and of expenditure and the source of financial supported by the details of the proposed expenditures in the form of a national expenditure program and the President budget which summarizes the budget, policy thrust and the priorities for the year. The Congress, the proposed budget who goes first to the House of Representatives which assign the task of the initial budget review of its appropriation committee.
Let's invite Zaveria Fatima's group leading with the topic allocation of budget.
What is allocation of budget? The budget allocation is amount of funding designated to each expenditure line. It designates the maximum amount of funding an organization is willing to spend on a particular program or item. When developing a budget, revenues are usually estimated first to determine the resources that will be available in upcoming budget year.
Okay, so my first question goes, how much budget is allocated for agriculture sector in 2022 to 2023?
The target of agriculture credit has been increased to Rs 16.5 lakh crore in order to ensure the availability of higher credit to the farmers. Overall allocation to the agriculture sector was increased marginally to Rs 1,32,513.62 crore in 2022 to 23 from the revised estimate of Rs 1,26,807.62 crore of 2022 to 23. Overall budget for for the farm sector, including agriculture researches, animals, husbandry and fisheries, was raised marginally from rupees 1.35 trillion in 2021 and 2022 to rupees 1.38 trillion in 2022 to 23. Further, the Financial Minister said these will focus on supporting farmer producers organization, providing rental machineries and providing technical support to the farmers.
Okay, what's about schemes allocation in agriculture sector?
Well, PM Kisan scheme provides income support by way of cash and also increased marginally about 68,000 to 67,500 crore. And also, Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana has allotted 15,500 crore and Agriculture Infrastructure Fund increased to rupees 500 crore. However, the Market Intervention Scheme and Price Support Scheme was allotted 1,500 crore. Cash-based agriculture scheme received almost 79% of allocations in the Union Budget 2022 to 23. All the above schemes provide cash benefits to the farmers. However, even allocation under the Food Nutritional Security has more come down to rupees 1,395 crore from rupees 1,540 crore in 2021 to 22.
Okay, so what are inclusive development given in the agriculture sector in the Union Budget 2022 to 23?
Chemical-free natural farming are to be promoted throughout the country and also Kisan drones for the crop assessment, digitization of land records, spraying of insecticides and nutrients. Domestic schemes are to be introduced to reduce dependence on imports to meat, vegetable, oilseeds, etc. For delivery of digital and high-tech services for farmers is in a scheme, public-private partnership PPP mode will be launched. For farmers to adopt suitable varieties of fruits and vegetables and also to use appropriate production and harvesting techniques, government will provide a comprehensive package with participation of all the state governments.
Okay, what's about Ken Betwa project?
1,400 crores allocated for implementation of Ken Betwa Link project. 9.8 lakh hectares of farmers' land to receive irrigation benefits by Ken Betwa Link project. The implementation of Ken Betwa Link project from 28 to 23, rupees 1,400 crore have been mentioned for the Ken Betwa Link project.
Okay, so what about the budget allocated in industry sector?
The government proposed to spend rupees 39,44,999 crores in 2022 to 23, which is an increase of 4.6% over the revised estimate of 2021 to 22, that is 12,382 crore. This is slightly less than received budget PM Kisan scheme, crop insurance, drones for digitization of land records, rural drinking water schemes, accessible banking facilities, digital learning programs in village are what India bought from this year's union budget.
Okay, what are the allocation provided to schemes of industrial sector?
Rupees 133.83 crore for Textile Cluster Development Scheme, Rupees 100 crore for National Technical Textile Mission, Rupees 15 crore each for PM Mega Integrated Textile Region and also 105 crore for Material Supply Scheme. The Cotton Corporation will see rupees 92,043 crore for next financial year. No funds towards Powerloom Promotion Scheme.
Okay, so how much budget was allocated on medical and public health?
According to the expenditure, the spending on medical and public health has been reduced from rupees 74,820 crore in 2021 and 2022 to rupees 41,011 crores in 2022 and 2023. Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has also pledged rupees 5,000 crores as support to states for COVID vaccination this year. For the Union Health Ministry, the total budget for 2022 and 2023 stands at 86,200 crore, which is just 0.2% higher than previous year.
Okay, what is the amount spent on rural development?
In budget, the Ministry of Rural Development has been allocated 1,38,203.63 crore. Budget of 2022 has estimate of 2,06,293 crores development in 2022 to 2023.
Okay, so what is the budget of education service?
The budget of this year 2022-23 has allotted 1,04,278 crores for education sector, an increase of 11.86% compared to last year. Finance Minister focused mainly on digital education, job creation, agriculture, university skills development programs, etc.
Let's invite Shalini's group dealing with the topic sources of revenue.
Tax is one of the major sources of revenue. for the government to carry out its development projects.
Okay, what are the sources of revenue? Main sources of the revenue of the government is tax. Tax is a compulsory payment by the citizens to the government to meet public expenditure. There are two types of taxes, direct tax, indirect tax.
As he said, two types of taxes. One of the tax is direct tax. The tax that are directly collected on the individual are the direct tax. One of the direct tax is income tax. Income tax is collected on annual personal income and the annual income of individual. And the second one is corporate tax, a tax which is collected on yearly profit of companies and business establishments.
Land revenue. Land revenue tax is a fee-paid purchase of a good property. Profession tax. A person earning an income practicing a profession.
Indirect tax. Indirect tax are collected on goods and services. These types of taxes are where tax is collected on one person but the tax burden is shifted to some other person.
Excise duty, the tax collected on goods that are produced and made in factories. Example, diesel, petrol. Custom duty, the tax collected on imports and exports of goods. Sales tax, the tax collected from traders and shopkeepers.
Okay, what exactly the income slab is? How it is differed in pandemic?
Slab system means different tax rates are prescribed for different ranges of income. Moreover, the sources of capital income, gains or losses income from business and profession. Stepping forward to theoretical of income tax 2022 to 2023. First and foremost, 2.5 lakhs no income tax is collected. Secondly, 2.5 lakhs to 5 lakhs on this income, totally 5% of the tax is collected. Then 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs on this income, totally 20% of the tax is collected. Lastly, about 10 lakhs on this income, totally 30% of the tax is collected. Currently, Budget 2022 hikes tax expansion on employees in NPS contribution for state government staff from 14% to 10%. Definitely, the new tax regime offers lower tax rates as compared to the old tax regime.
Okay, what are the sources of the world's highest budget of the country and what do our nation should adopt them from?
Yeah, actually the government spend the money on infrastructure that ensure the well-being of the people in the United States because the United States has the highest economic in the world. Manufacturing activities, productive service sector, equal opportunities, limited government interpretation, etc.
Okay, so how do GST impact and what makes it the main source of income? Basically, GST, also called as Good Service Tax. GST is the main source of revenue. Initially, GST is an indirect tax which has been implemented on 1st June of 2017. Here, the main objective behind the implementation of this tax is to make uniform tax system in the country. GST has been implemented by 100th Constitution Amendment Act 2014. There is a provision of 5 years imprisonment for those who don't pay GST. There are 5 rates of tax in GST: 0%, 5%, 10%, 18% and 28%. 28% GST tax rate is the highest tax rate. After the implementation of GST, tax upon tax will be implemented. The biggest reason behind the implementation of this tax is to bring uniformity in the taxation of the country. The most important objective of taxation is to require revenues to meet expenditure. It is also expected to increase the GDP by 2%. Okay, so tax on income or tax on commodities. Which of the two affects the rich more and which affects poor more? Explain the reason.
Okay, well, due to this single tax named GST, the prices of many commodities will decline. It is also expected that it will increase the GDP by 2%. The most important objective of taxation is required revenues to meet expenditure, and tax on income affects the rich more than the poor because usually income tax is collected by the particular level and the tax on commodities affects the poorer section of the society. If commodities are taxed more, this will affect the living and standard of the people. And then the tax paid by the manufacturer to the government is excise duty, which is completely different from the customs duty, and it is only applicable only the things which are produced in the India, and it is called as the central value added tax. The tax paid by the trader to the government income, corporative tax, capital gains tax and service tax. Tax paid by the retailer, the income tax imposed only on the selling and purchasing of the goods in India, and which is referred to as sales tax, and it enables the sellers to recover the tax from the purchaser tax paid to the consumer. And usually our laws allows the seller to collect the funds from the tax from the consumer, and the value added manufacturing values of the gross output of products less than the value of intermediate goods and services consumed in production. Value added by the retailer all services beyond the standard fax transmission.
Okay, so do you think that the market environment could be changed so that there is more compliance and less tax avoidance?
Well, in my opinion is that Indian population is huge, so that the competition of the employment is very much more. So subsequently, India has the largest startup in the world, and which has been the stepping forward called as manufacture hub of the world, which is set up in the Bangalore, and it is beating the Silicon Valley of the US. And if we talk about the investors in India, so lack of the understanding or the lack of the financial risk, they are not investing their money in the stock market, and other reasons will be the more taxation and the
Higher tax rate, frequent changes in rules and regulation, somewhere political pressure and corruption, as well as that unicorns. The term unicorn is given only to the startup companies that have valuation of 1 billion. Despite of government revolution, India ranks in the World Bank Ease of Doing Business Index 2017 is 130 out of 189 countries.
Okay. How does the social insurance system and tax burden of economic activity affect entrepreneurship and innovation?
I strongly believe that entrepreneurship develops efficiently, and India is the third largest startup in the world. Entrepreneur ecosystem becomes more and more competitive if India creates the right conditions for the entrepreneur. First of all, low tax burdens and low cost of contributions to the social insurance system. On the other hand, higher corporate income tax rate reduce business density. Succeeding entrepreneurs boost the economic growth by introducing innovations, technologies, products and services. Entrepreneurs also bring the new job opportunities and increase in the employment rate of the India, and helps to develop the India. Let's invite Cyterin's group leading with the topic expenditure in percentage.
2022-23 में सरकार द्वारा किया गया कुल खर्च 39,44,900 करोड़ है, जो 2021-22 के संशोधित अनुमान से 4.6% अधिक है। सरकार द्वारा राजस्व पर किया गया कुल खर्च 31,94,663 करोड़ है, जो 2021-22 के संशोधित अनुमान से 0.9% अधिक है। केंद्रीय व्यय 7,50,246 करोड़ है, जो पिछले साल की तुलना में 24.5% अधिक है।
Okay, what is the expenditure spent on home affairs in Union Budget 2022 to 2023?
The government expended 1,85,776 crores on home affairs in the Union Budget of 2022-23. They were increased 7.3% when we compared to the Union Budget of 2021-22. This year, a new feature added modernization of Central Armed Police Forces has been added with an allocation of 248 crores. Special schemes related to the women's security get an allocation of 200 crore rupees. A sum of 3,689.84 crore has been allocated for improving police infrastructure. The interoperable criminal justice system has been allocated with 590.60 crore, while 300 crore has been spent for modernization of forensic capacity.
Okay, so government had spent 23.8% of expenditure on interest payments. May we know the reason?
Government allotted 9,40,651 crores which is 23.8% of the government expenditure in 2022 to 23. Government had increased because the government had taken loans from the LIC, RBI and World Bank. The government had to repay the loans, so they collect the loans in the form of taxes from the people. Due to pandemic, the government not collect this types of tax, so the government spent more on interest payment this year.
Okay, what is the expenditure spent on road transport and highways?
Government has spent 1,99,108 crore on road transport and highways. Government had increased 51.8% when we compare to 2022-23 budget. Government has spent 1,99,108 crore on road transport and highways. Government had increased 51.8% when we compare to 2021-22 budget. Government have increased to avoid the traffic jam on highways. Traveling and transportation should not be problematic for the public. It is very important in case of emergency. Nowadays, users of automobiles are increasing day by day. So the government has decided to increase the expenditure on road transport and highways.
Okay, so why the expenditure on Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme is decreased this year?
The government allocated 73,000 crores for Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme in 2022-23. This is a decrease of 25.5% over the revised estimate at 2021-22. Allocation of the scheme has decreased by 34.2% from rupees 73,000 crore at the budget stage to rupees 98,000 crore at the revised stage to recover the impact of second wave of COVID-19.
Okay, what is the reason that government had not increased the budget on food subsidy?
Government allotted 2,06,831 crores for food subsidy in union budget of 22 and 23. Compared to last year, they decreased 27.8% because government implemented special schemes for poor people in previous year.
Okay. Instead of increasing, why did they decrease?
In previous year, many people lost jobs due to COVID-19, so they implemented schemes like Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Ann Yojana, which government provides free food grains for the poor people. So that is the reason. So government decreased the expenditure on food subsidy in union budget of 2022 and 2023.
Okay, why the government decreased expenditure on the chemicals and fertilizers?
The government has expended 1,07,715 crores on food, chemicals and fertilizers, which is 24% less than we compared to the previous year budget 2021-22. Government have decreased it this year to improve the organic farming and to use the organic fertilizers. Not to use the chemical fertilizers for the farming. By using the chemical fertilizers, the soil is being polluted and the water is also being polluted. The food grains which are grown by using chemical fertilizers is very harmful to the people, so the government decreased the expenditure on chemicals and fertilizers.
Okay, why the government increased expenditure on the telecommunications and how much did they increase? The government allocated 1,05,004 crore rupees on telecommunications, that is 2.67% of the union budget. The government has increased 93.3% when we compare to the year 2021-22. When we compare with other countries, they are using 5G technology, but we are in still 4G. In this pandemic, the online classes helped the education much, and India is the world's second largest telecommunication market with a subscriber base of 1.16 billion and has registered strong growth in the last decade. This sector provides directly employment for 2.2 million people and indirectly to the 1.8 million people, and is important for the developing of a country.
Okay, so what is the expenditure on the health and family welfare?
We have spent 86,201 crores on the health and family welfare. We have spent 2.18% of the main union budget. We have not increased much as we increased only 0.2%, etc.
Okay, what is the expenditure spent on educational sector and why did the government increase the expenditure on this sector? The expenditure on the education sector by the government is 1,04,278 crores. COVID-19 has impacted the state budgets, and the release of central government education funds to the states and union territories. As the education is very essential for a developing country, the government had increased the expenditure on education by 18%.
ठीक है, रक्षा क्षेत्र के लिए 2022 और 2023 साल में कितना बजट मंजूर किया गया?
बजट में इस साल रक्षा के लिए आवंटन बढ़ाया गया है। वित्त वर्ष 2022-23 में रक्षा क्षेत्र के लिए 5,25,166 करोड़ रुपए आवंटित किए गए हैं, जो कि पूरे बजट का 13.3% है। ये पिछले वर्ष में रक्षा बजट के आवंटन से करीब 10% ज़्यादा है। सीमा पर बढ़ती चीन की आक्रामकता को मद्देनजर सरकार ने एक बार फिर रक्षा बजट में बढ़ोतरी की है।
Let's invite Shivamani's group dealing with the topic more priority to the sectors.
Let's invite Sudhit's group dealing with the topic less priority in sectors.
In this budget, in which sector government is giving more priority?
The government released very excellent budget till date with more expenditure. The government gave more priority to defense, transportation, education, health, telecommunication, rural development.
Which sectors are given less priorities in this budget?
In the Union Budget 2022, the less priority given to agriculture sector, health sector, MSP, education, MSME, MG and RES.
Agriculture is the art and science of cultivating the soil and growing the crops. In the agriculture sector, farmers describe 2022 Union Budget as disappointing because farmers claim the demand for abolition of GST on ingredients supplementing agricultural activities like power tiller, insecticides, pesticides, biofertilizers and tractors has been ignored. Farmers says that the budget seems to be very suitable made for big time private investors, while there is no mention some of their key demands, including statutory guarantee of minimum support price MSP for agriculture produce. The Union Budget 2022-23 has evoked negative response from farmers, who said provisions for agriculture were disappointing and silent on their key demands. Agriculture and allied activities which still employ the largest bulk of population, the sector shares overall the budget allocations fell from 4.26% to in 2021-22 to 3.84%. Allocation for Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana on crop insurance scheme was also reduced marginally. 15,500 crore was also reduced for this year. 15,989 crore in 2021-22. So my question is, why agriculture sector has been given less priority? Why the key demands of farmers have been ignored?
Cool. The budgets for the agriculture and farmers welfare has been increased by 4.5%. The allocation for Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana has been immensely increased from 2,000 crores to 10,433 crores. And programs such as PM Krishi Sinchai Yojana, Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana has been submission including management of crop residue, among other, and RKB.
Minimum support price fixed by the Government of India to protect the producer farmers against excessive fall in the price during the bumper production. I belong to a farmer's family and I know the problems which are faced by us. Farmers spend a lot of money for harvesting the crop and works hard to protect it and also ready to sell after the harvesting their crop. The government is not ready to give a good rate and then to face many problems to the farmers to sell their crop and return to the lent money which was taken by the borrowers or from the banks. If they are unable to return the money, they attempt suicide or changing the occupation. To reduce these occurrences, we need to give better MSP to the farmers. Now my question is that why the government didn't mention a single word about MSP? Is the government encouraging the farmers to commit suicide?
We have introduced many schemes better than MSP such as MKSS, Mazdoor Kisan Shakti Sangathan, Paramparagat Vikas Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sanchai Yojana, National Scheme of Welfare of Farmers.
To develop the rural areas, we need to focus on education, physical infrastructures and social infrastructures. These all are playing an important role to developing rural regions. This is on locality, product, economical development strategies.
To develop this, we need this. What are you doing? But today's government is allocating more amount of money in their central power. States like Telangana, Tamil Nadu, they are not increasing budget for many aspects which are necessary. Mahatma Gandhi said that villages are the backbones of our country. Means that the backbone helps a person to stand rigid as well as villages the backbone of the country. The backbone helps a person to stand rigid as well as the villages as the backbone of our country, which makes our country rigid.
We all know that India is still developing country without developing villages.
Without development of villages, we can't say India as developed country.
Our country remains developing without developing the rural areas. Without developing the rural areas, what is the using the development of the cities?
Pradhan Mantri Gramin Awas Yojana. This is a welfare program created by the Indian government to provide housing to rural poor people in India. The goal of this scheme is to provide home to all citizens till 2023. The Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme was notified on September 7, 2005. The mandate of the Act is to provide at least 150 days of guarantee wage in a financial year to every rural household whose adult members volunteer are ready to do unskilled manual work. Suppose if I belong to the below poverty line people, I will go to fetch work in fields in the season. After the completion of the harvest season, I will work in MGNREGS for 150 days work scheme. But these money given by the government are not sufficient for my survival, and moreover I am the only person who is investing. I am the only earning person on whom my complete family depends upon. We will adjust these money for 150 days, but after completing the scheme we have no work to do, we have no food to eat. We sleep with empty stomachs. In the place of increasing budget, the government decreased 25.5% allocation, 96,000 crore to 73,000 crore. Now I would like to question. The whole amount dedicated for the rural development was marginally lower than the last year's revised estimate. When there is high demand for MGNREGS scheme, then why was the budget not increased, and why was the budget decreased than the last year? The government of India firstly planned MGNREGA for first 30 days, and after 1 month continued 1 month program, and taking a gap of 1 month, we started a 40 days program. In this gap, we are training below poverty line people by giving money to them, and the main intention of the government is to develop skills among below poverty line people. If the skills are developed in them, they can stand on their own feet.
MSME is a micro, small and medium enterprises which play an important role in promoting speculator among women and economically weaker section in our country. Problems faced by the people on MSME are unavailability of adequate and timely credit facility, high cost of credit, lack of modern technology, no research and no innovations. So, for improving this, the people were expecting the increase in budget, but that has not happened this time. In our India, there are more enterprises. These enterprises makes a lot of employment. In recently announced budget, they have not given priority to MSME. To get the quality and to get the good goods, we need to provide best quality of machineries. What does the central government give to MSME?
Yes, of course, my friend. The central government gave many schemes for the people, like Udyog, Aadhaar Memorandum. Aadhaar card is a 12-digit number which is given to all the individuals of our country by the government. We have provided quality management standards and quality technology tools. We have also launched the credit link subsidy schemes. The main motto of the government is zero defect and zero effect.
The defense forces of India include Indian Army, Indian Navy and Indian Air Force, who protected our country's borders. By air and water, the PRC has provided economic, military and technical assistance to Pakistan, and each country considers the other. A close strategic ally, China has become Pakistan's largest supplier of armies, its third largest trading partner. As we know that Pakistan and China share a good relationship. When both countries are against India, the budget of 2022 and 2023 might not be sufficient. Now my question is that, do you think the fund given for the defense is sufficient for competing countries like China? Ministry of Defense has been allocated a total budget of 5.25 lakh crore rupees, which is 13.31% of the total budget
Government committed to reducing imports and promoting Atmanirbharata in equipment for the armed forces. These include an amount of 1.19 lakh crore rupees for defense pensions. The proposal to reserve 25% of the research and development budget for startups and private entities is an excellent move.
Education is the process of facilitating learning or the acquisition of knowledge, skills, moral, and an act of teaching knowledge to others and an act of receiving knowledge from someone. Whenever there is a discussion over the growth and development of a nation, the main and the most first thing taken into the consideration is the strength of the education sector of that nation. Private institutes will not be specified in the exemption list. The taxes imposed on the administration rendered by them would be 18%. Now, higher education in private sector will turn out to be more expensive. Now, the competition for confirmation at government schools, university institutions will increase. This is a matter of great concern because every individual is not capable of getting an admission in a government college, and as an alternative they have private institutions. Now private institution financial expenditure has raised due to the new tax regime. This is very heavy burden for the middle class families and the lower salary groups who are trying their level best to educate their children, leaving no stones unturned. Due to the pandemic, many parents have lost their jobs, and due to which they have to take loans from their family members, from banks and from money lenders. And when the GST on education increases, the children might be forced to leave their education in the midway. So in my opinion, increasing in the GST of education might decrease the literacy rate of our country. My question is that, why did the government increase the GST on education as it can decrease the literacy rates?
No, my dear friend, you are thinking wrong. The budget has allocated 104k crore rupees for the education sector, an increase of 11.86% compared to the last year. The One Class One TV channel program of PM E-Vidya will be expanded from 1 to 12 to 200 TV channels for regional people to understand in their own regional language.
I have an objection. The state is grossly mistaken that the learning gaps can be bridged with TV channels. Bringing in digitization with no proper thought is dangerous, and as well as it can create inequality socially and in terms of educational opportunities. Learning through TV cannot substitute the classroom teaching.
We don't have any alternative in this pandemic situation. A digital university will be established with a world-class quality universal education, virtual classes and skill e-labs to promote critical thinking skills and stimulated learning environment. High-quality e-content will be delivered through digital teachers. Startups will be promoted to facilitate Drone Shakti for drone as a service.
The government increased to only 0.2% compared to the previous year. My dear friend, I have a question that are you thinking that Corona had reduced in our country 60% are vaccinated. So the budget should be increased more so that more members can vaccinate it. The count of Corona cases are also increasing.
The budget allocated for health and family welfare is 86,201 crore. A new scheme, Atmanirbhar Swasth Bharat Yojana, was announced and a plan was laid out to spend 64,180 crore on it over the next 6 years, with a focus on 3 areas: fixed, preventive, curative, well-being. Let's invite Sumit Group dealing with the topic more benefits.
Let's invite Samita's group dealing with the topic less benefits.
What are the more benefits from this budget?
This year, 2022-23, the government released a budget on February 1st. The government mainly focused on the benefits of the people like defense, interest and payments, transportation, home affairs, road affairs. agriculture, chemical fertilizers, telecommunications, education, rural development, roadways, railways, etc. By which ordinary people are getting benefited by schemes which are implemented by the government. This year, government mainly focused on agriculture, food and public distributions, roadways, road and railways, rural development, communication and technology.
What are the benefits that the people get from food and public distribution system?
In this year, our government invested 2.06 lakhs in food and public distribution system. A higher level of food subsidies was budgeted on account of Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Ann Yojana, which provides free food grains to poor to overcome from the impact of COVID-19, and also the government invested for clearing loans of Food Corporation of India, and our government also providing ration food grains like wheat, jowar, etc.
1 minute. All the people are benefited? Then what about the migrant laborers? The laborers are migrating to other places for work, for food and for their livelihood. They are spending their own money for food with their own earnings. They already earn very less. Then they spend whole earnings for food. Then how their livelihood runs? So they are the one who most needy in this system. But the government, what it is doing? They are not providing them those who are extreme need. So how can you say that people are benefiting?
Okay, cool. Let me explain you first. Our government investing on migratory laborers like implement One Nation, One Ration card program, so that common peoples or migratory laborers can take ration with their irrespective of their region also.
Okay, why more budget is allotted on roadways and highways? What are the benefits?
Our government allocated 1.99 lakh crores on road transports and highways. Our government spent 20,000 crores on PM Gati Shakti scheme. In this scheme, the national highway network will be expanded by 25,000 kilometers. By this, there will be no problems in travel and reduce the travel time, and also the accidents will be reduced.
Then what about railways? Our government allocated 1.404 lakh crores on railways. In this scheme, our government spent 40,000 crores on Vande Bharat railways, which are made up of aluminium, less weight than iron trains and consume less electricity. And also our government implemented the scheme Kavach, in which our government is increasing 2,000 kilometers to reduce train accidents. And also our government increased the rolling stocks, so there will be no problem to the transport of goods.
It is okay that lot of people will get employment depending on railways. But why the government is pretending on railways? If all the employees run towards railways for work, what about the other employees working in other sectors? They lose their jobs. This will be no for them, nothing.
Okay, my dear friend, cool down. Our government is also investing on employment of railways. By making the privatization of railways, they will provide better services to the people, and people also give luxurious journey. Our government is also providing employment to the people under the scheme 400 Vande Bharat railways, which are made up of aluminium.
What benefits did the people get from home affairs?
Our government allocated 1.85 lakh crores on home affairs. In this, our government spent rupees 248 crores on CAPF, which gives more security to the people. And our government allocated rupees 200 crores on women's security, so that there will be no women harassment. And also our government is providing a secure and integrated service delivery to facilitate legitimate travelers. Our government also improved the immigration visa, foreigners registration and tracking for country security. How people are benefited by rural development? The government has spent 1.35 lakh crore on rural development. One of the scheme, Deen Dayal Antyodaya, our government has spent 3,000 crores. By this, our government is training 0.5 million people in rural area to how to develop the village. One of the scheme, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, our government are providing 2 crores of houses to rural area people.
But the government is not providing any schemes for rural people. No schemes have been applied for the village development. How can you say that the rural areas are being developed?
Our government is implementing more schemes on rural development. Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, Deen Dayal Antyodaya, Pradhan Mantri Gramin Sadak Yojana, Swaran Jayanti Gram Swaraj Ghar Yojana, National Food for Work Program, National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. By these schemes, the people get more benefits like work, skill development, etc. What benefits did the farmers get from agriculture and farmer welfare?
Our government has invested 1.32 lakh crores on agriculture and farmers welfare. In this, the government spent more on Ken Betwa Link project, which gives more irrigation facilities to the farmers. And also, the government spent more on PM Asha, that is Pradhan Mantri Annadatta Aay Samrakshan Abhiyan. The scheme will also help the rural economy by assuring better income to the farmers. Our government also providing 6,000 rupees for each farmer for every 3 months. By this, the small and marginal farmers are benefited by buying fertilizers, pesticides and small equipments. And our government is also providing Kisan drones to help farmers access crops, digitalize the land records, as well as to spray insecticides and pesticides and nutrition. And these drones are helpful to deliver digital and high-tech services to the farmers.
How that will be possible? How can you say farmers are being developed? The government is not letting farmers to produce paddy. In our area, paddy is a major crop. The farmers are most dependent on paddy crop. Hence, the government is neglecting paddy. Then, how farmers are benefited?
Okay, relax. Agriculture means not only paddy, but also oil seeds, pulses, millets, etc. Already government is importing oil seeds and pulses from other countries. Rather than that, we have sufficient paddy food grains for next 2 to 3 years. We have ability to cultivate the other crops and we have sufficient fertile land. So, the people should cultivate the other crops like oil seeds, millets and pulses, etc. which are necessary to our nation.
Madam, it is good that agriculture sector is being developed. What about fertilizers? The government has decreased the subsidies for chemical fertilizers. There will be a great stroke for them. How the government just develop the agriculture without developing fertilizers?
Okay, cool down. Let me say, our government, we want to protect environment, government removed on fertilizers. So the farmers use chemicals and pesticides sparing so that we are introducing organic farming. But we know that 2022 to 2023 has rupees 10,759 2.73% in our India. Organic farming is an agriculture process that we use pest control derived from organic manure and animals or plants, water. The urea subsidy 70% allocation for nitrogen phosphate, potassium subsidies reduced 35% of amid acute shortage of fertilizers in India. Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, February 1st, 2022 reduced the subsidies urea and nutrition NPK fertilizers.
Being a fundamental sector, health sector is given least preference. Health is a major dominant key for the people. If the government won't take care of the people's health, you can understand that India will be nothing without Indians. If they neglect health in this same way, India will fall down in their economical status. Where are the enough budget for the health sector? What did the government give to the health sector?
We know that the sector is a prominent sector. Good had invested more on that. Government provided vaccination for more than 70 crore people. In this pandemic situation, Good is providing free health facility to poor people, and government also providing Ayushman Bhava scheme which gives the health insurance to the people.
What are the equipments and facilities government are giving to the poor people?
In this pandemic situation, government is more focusing on health. Government invested 200 crores rupees on equipment and hospital infrastructure, so that the poor people will get the health services like the rich people.
So what are the less benefits? The budget which is released this year, it should not be mentioned. But I can say that the budget had made most of the people to unreach their goals.
Okay, our government is trying to do their best and to give, they are trying to give more benefits to the people. The government has to give short-term benefits and they are think about the future vision. The government invested more on the fundamental sectors and the government will satisfy the benefits of the people.
Now I kindly request the judges to appreciate the teams.
From our social department, we are trying to bring awareness
about budget. Our students are participating very well. I am thanking very much everyone student, those who are participating in it, and my colleagues and our principal sir and our management members to giving this opportunity. Thank you.
So, on behalf of Social Department, we are really proud feel as a participant, as a judge also in this program. The main intention of my program on this program to aware the budget to students and unknown persons also. And really in this program, each and every students, eye contact also and topic also. It's very excellent and very excellent presentation. We are very much happy by their presentation also. And first of all, I would like to special thanks to this management and my dear colleagues also, along with my social department. On behalf of social department, we are very much thankful to each and every students and my colleagues and along with my manager. Thank you very much.
Thank you, judges.
Now I request Nashvik to propose a vote of thanks.
A very good morning to one and all. I, Nashvik, on behalf of Sri Vijay Sai High School, glad to be here to express vote of thanks. I take this golden opportunity to thank our respected headmaster of our esteemed school, Dr. S. Krishnamohan sir, for giving us a wonderful opportunity to conduct this program. I extend my gratitude to the respected PRO sir, Ayya Chakravati sir, in charge of our school, Ayya Swachna madam, in charge of primary school, yes Prasanna ma'am, for encouraging us to achieve many endeavors. It's my pleasure to thank our beloved social department teachers, Shivshankar sir, Ahmad sir, Lakshmi ma'am, Asmita ma'am, for guiding us to prepare and present a wonderful program before you. Thank you Akshay and Farya Falak for being an anchor and taking the program in a right and smooth direction and for making the program grand success. I also thank Divya Chaitanya for a marvelous introduction about the budget. Last but not least, I thank my friends who participated in the program with a good explanations and made the program grand success. And also, I thank Raghu sir for his support to this program. Once again, I want to thank one and all present here. Thank you all.
Thank you, Nashvik.
I hope everyone followed about Union Budget 2022 to 2023.
May this debate help you to find more awareness on this budget.
Thank you, thanks a lot.